Okay, so Jane and her husband Leonard head to Naples because Leonard's got a gig teaching and playing his viola. But their marriage? It's not exactly sunshine and rainbows. Jane feels like Leonard's just not there for her, not really supportive or caring, you know? While Leonard's busy with work, Jane's holed up writing this memoir thing about her grandma's experiences during the World Wars. To escape feeling totally alone in their hotel room, Jane takes a trip to the island of Ischia. While she's out wandering around, she bumps into Caleb. He's this young, super outgoing 19-year-old, and they just click. They end up spending the whole afternoon together, and then grab dinner that night. Things get a little wild when they ditch the restaurant without paying. Jane says it makes her feel alive. But then Caleb confesses that when he snuck off to the bathroom, he paid the bill. When Caleb asks for her number, Jane refuses and heads back to her hotel on the ferry. The next day, Jane and Leonard have lunch, and you can just feel the tension. Leonard doesn't get why Jane's so fascinated and maybe even a little jealous of this young, carefree teenager's life. Right as she's saying this, who shows up? Caleb. Jane invites him to sit with them, which Leonard clearly isn't thrilled about. He gets all suspicious and quickly asks for the check. So, as they're heading towards where Leonard works, Caleb, right before he splits, scribbles his address on Jane's hand, even though Leonard's like, "Hey, I've got paper right here." Awkward. Jane and Leonard say goodbye, and then Jane bumps into Caleb again right after. Jane's like, "Are you following me?" And Caleb's all, "Would that be weird?" So, they start strolling along, and Caleb gets all honest, saying he was totally up all night thinking about her and basically plotted to bump into her again just to see her. They end up having this intense kiss, but Jane's like, "Hold up," and starts wondering what his deal is before just leaving and telling him to stay put and not to follow her. Back at the hotel, Jane jumps in the shower, but she makes sure to jot down Caleb's address in her notebook first, just in case it washes off her hand. You know, just in case. Back at the hotel, Jane tries to get things going with Leonard, trying to be intimate, but he totally blows her off, completely focused on his work. That familiar feeling of their marriage falling apart starts creeping back in. So, Jane does what you probably guessed. She follows that address in her notebook and finds Caleb. They spend this whole day together, just wandering around the island, dancing, swimming, and then, they end up sleeping together at his place. Then the next morning, Jane heads back to the hotel, and Leonard, her husband, is clearly not thrilled. He's all worried that she was out all night, especially since she just said she was walking. Jane tries to tell him they need to have a serious chat, but he's like, "Gotta go to work," and brushes her off. Jane keeps seeing Caleb, and then one night, she and Leonard have this huge blow-up. Jane just lays it all out there and tells him about the affair. Leonard's first reaction is total rage. He's throwing stuff, the whole 9 yards. But then, out of nowhere, he calms down and tells Jane to just do whatever she feels she has to. He even asks her to meet him at the train station the next day at 4:30, so they can leave the country together and try to patch things up, like a clean slate, no blaming, no questions. So, the next morning, Jane hangs out with Caleb, but she has this major realization. She decides to ditch him and says no to his offer to travel together. Then she goes to the train station where Leonard's waiting for her. He smiles, but then he's like, "Hey, you're on the wrong platform. You gotta come over here so we can leave." Jane smiles back, but you can tell she's a little sad about something. Then a train rolls in and blocks Leonard's view of her. When the train moves on, Jane's just gone. It's like she hopped on the train and left both Caleb and Leonard behind, leaving Leonard all by himself at the station. Talk about a twist ending.